In Episode 9, Craft a Focused Application Security Strategy and Roadmap, we shift from scattered tactical efforts to a coherent plan that delivers value in a deliberate sequence. Many organizations treat application security as a collection of disconnected tools, backlog items, and well-intentioned improvements carried out by whichever team has time that quarter. Here, we take a different stance. Strategy as a small set of clear outcomes, aligned with risk and business priorities, delivered in an order that compounds benefits rather than diluting them. When you approach application security through this lens, you make stronger decisions, build trust with leadership, and create roadmaps that real teams can follow without confusion. A reliable strategy begins with an honest assessment of current maturity, grounded in objective measures and informed by stakeholder perspectives. Maturity is not a judgment on talent. It is a snapshot of how consistently and effectively security practices are applied across the portfolio. You look at evidence such as defect trends, pipeline controls, threat modeling frequency, code review practices, and how well teams respond to incidents. You also ask engineers, product owners, and platform teams where they experience friction or uncertainty. This combination of data and human insight helps you establish a baseline that is neither overly flattering nor excessively harsh. A strategy built on a clear baseline avoids both unrealistic ambition and timid minimalism. With that baseline in view, you can define a target state anchored in the specific risks your organization faces, the obligations that shape your environment, and the broader direction of the business. The target state is not a utopian catalog of every possible control. It is a practical depiction of what good looks like in the context you actually operate in. It might emphasize regulated data protection, multi-cloud consistency, rapid release reliability, or third-party integration safety. Anchoring the target in real risks and business direction ensures the strategy earns buy-in rather than feeling like an external checklist. This alignment also improves exam readiness because it mirrors how scenario questions often balance constraints with desired outcomes. The turning point comes when you choose a small number of critical capabilities that unlock compounding benefits across teams. These capabilities might include centralized identity services, robust application logging and telemetry, integrated security testing in pipelines, or repeatable threat modeling workflows. The key is to select capabilities that improve many products at once, reduce duplicated effort, and create momentum that makes future improvements easier. Instead of trying to do everything, you focus on the few capabilities that act as multipliers. This focus helps the strategy feel achievable and coherent rather than overwhelming. With priorities identified, you can begin sequencing initiatives based on dependencies, resource considerations, and decision checkpoints. Some capabilities require foundational work, such as platform upgrades, policy clarifications, or changes to team responsibilities before they can produce real impact. Others can be piloted quickly with a few willing teams and expanded gradually. Decision checkpoints help you validate progress, adjust scope, or correct assumptions before committing further resources. Sequencing is where strategy becomes a roadmap, a structured flow of work that is paced realistically and designed to deliver value at each milestone. Funding models then bring the roadmap to life by linking outcomes to budgets and accountable owners. Without clear funding, even the best strategies collapse into aspirational slides. Effective funding models tie investment to measurable improvements, such as reduced vulnerabilities, improved review throughput, or stronger incident detection. They also specify who is responsible for delivering those improvements, whether it is a central team, a platform group, or distributed product squads. When budgets and ownership are transparent, Leadership can see how investment translates into safer, more reliable systems. Having defined ownership and funding, you select leading and lagging indicators to steer and validate progress. Leading indicators, such as adoption of pipeline checks or completion rates for threat modeling sessions, show whether the strategy is taking hold early. Lagging indicators, such as reductions in production incidents or fewer escaped vulnerabilities, confirm whether the long-term benefits are materializing. These indicators help you avoid steering by anecdote and provide early warnings when initiatives stall or when conditions shift. When used consistently, they make progress visible even when technical changes are deep within systems. Platform investments form the backbone of many application security strategies because they create shared infrastructure that raises the baseline for all teams. Identity services, telemetry pipelines, automated testing frameworks, and secure delivery patterns reduce complexity for product teams and improve consistency across the portfolio. Investing in platforms also makes security more scalable. Instead of solving the same problem differently in dozens of products, you solve it once and reuse it everywhere. A strong strategy deliberately connects platform investments to priority capabilities and measures their effectiveness through real usage and outcomes. Partnership is essential for success, especially with product management, operations, and compliance teams whose decisions heavily influence security posture. Product teams shape priorities and release decisions. Operations teams manage environments and incident response. And compliance teams define obligations that cannot be ignored. When these groups collaborate rather than work in parallel, application security becomes a shared success metric rather than a siloed responsibility. Strong partnerships also help refine the strategy as business conditions evolve, ensuring that security improvements remain relevant and timely. Communication rhythms keep that partnership healthy and transparent. Regular updates, risk discussions, and cross-functional syncs ensure that stakeholders know what is happening, why it matters, and where decisions are needed. These rhythms can take the form of monthly reviews, quarterly steering groups, or short written updates that highlight wins, risks, and blockers. When communication is predictable, people stop reacting to surprises and start participating in shaping the path ahead. A strategy supported by clear communication feels less like a mandate and more like a collaboration. Sunset criteria add another dimension by outlining when tools, processes, or practices should be retired. Without explicit retirement plans, organizations accumulate legacy scanners, outdated patterns, inconsistent controls, and redundant workflows that drain energy without adding value. Sunset criteria define the conditions under which a practice becomes obsolete, such as when a new platform capability replaces it, or when evidence shows it no longer contributes meaningful risk reduction. Retiring old practices makes room for better ones and keeps the roadmap from becoming cluttered with outdated obligations. Quarterly reviews bring adaptability into the strategy by examining what has been learned, what conditions have changed, and where priorities should shift. These reviews do not rewrite the entire roadmap. They adjust sequencing, reallocate resources, and reassess dependencies based on new information. They also incorporate feedback from teams, audits, incidents, and platform usage patterns. The goal is to maintain a living strategy that evolves with reality rather than following a rigid plan disconnected from current needs. Quarterly reviews reinforce the idea that strategy is a process, not a document. A brief mini-review consolidates the key elements. You assessed a baseline, defined a target, selected a small set of focus capabilities, sequenced initiatives, created funding and ownership clarity, established meaningful indicators, integrated platform investments, built partnerships, communicated consistently, planned retirements. and embedded adaptability through quarterly reviews. Speaking these elements aloud strengthens your ability to connect them quickly during exam scenarios that ask for practical, value-driven planning. The conclusion for Episode 9 is intentionally actionable. Draft a one-page strategy that captures your baseline, target state, focus capabilities, and initial sequencing. Keep it short enough that stakeholders will actually read it. The next action is to propose 3 priority bets, capabilities or initiatives that offer the highest leverage for your environment. With those bets defined, you turn ideas into commitments and begin shaping an application security program that delivers real, measurable improvement. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.